can follow and do the process, even if it's a machine. That has to be written. And so that's, and in general, if you have those processes in line, you can have a system. And that's what we're trying to do here. And we started with the procedure. What would be the requirement with the export market? In this case, the idea, which was a successful idea for the registration in the European Union, the G for geographical indication, the protection of Ceylon cinnamon as a geographical indication, starting for the specification, that is the dossier that UNIDO, in collaboration with the EDB Export Development Board, submitted to the European Union, claiming these are the processes, the characteristics, the geographical area, the links with the geographical area, the reputation, the control plan, the control systems, and all the specification, the characteristics of what is called Ceylon cinnamon for 4 products: cinnamon barks, cinnamon quills, cinnamon quills, cinnamon powder, leaf oil, cinnamon leaf oil, and cinnamon bark oil. And for all that, we had, starting from the tree, a traceability system. And in each point, we said what would be the controls that will have to happen in an IT-based platform that a farmer can capture with a cell phone in order to fulfill the requirements for the geographical indication. In particular, that the tree is planted in Sri Lanka, that the tree is harvested in Sri Lanka, that is processed in the ways that is traditionally for Ceylon cinnamon, that in the factory that it's processed, peeled, and making the quills, it's certified with at least HACCP, and so on and so forth. The people are trained, the people that are working in the cinnamon factories are actually having a qualification, those qualifications have been introduced, etc. So all that to demonstrate in the European market that the cinnamon that is coming from Sri Lanka, it's actually, what is called Ceylon cinnamon is from Sri Lanka, but it's produced in a sustainable and high quality way. So what the customer is receiving, that customer can know when was harvested, by whom, which plot of land, which date, where was processed, where were the quality control that were checked, and so on and so forth, and finally to reach the destination. So this, again, with the association, the European Union, EDB, we include this, and we are now addressing the gaps, for example, to reach larger markets, because right now most of the cinnamon is sold in bulk, similar with tea. We also have worked with the tea board to get this on board for the Ceylon Tea GI initiative. Some of my final remarks, and I'm not going to take long. I'm not sure if we have the capacity for questions. Sorry to taking this long, but I think it's very important for you to understand certain things. First, the fourth industrial revolution is not something that it's going to replace the previous one. No, it's building on top of those previous ones. The first one, some of the technologies are there, but mainly second and third industrial revolutions are part of our daily life, and now the fourth industrial revolution is becoming part of our lives. We're already experiencing that. You have, video phones, a lot of interaction with our smartphones, but on the manufacturing industrial side, it is a huge possibility. But you cannot just grab that possibility and do it right away, implementing overnight. You have to prepare, as I said, please remember these steps. You have initially an entrepreneur starting testing, then you have a consolidated business person, then you innovate, okay? You adopt this technology, and finally, if you can, using this mentality, have a disruption, you become an industrialist. Hopefully, people in Sri Lanka, which I believe you have the capacity, will have the many industrialists and disruptive industries in different sectors. As a country, definitely you have to identify the gaps for the previous mechanical, electrical, manufacturing, industrial revolutions, third and fourth. I was here when the crisis happened, and I experienced the disruption of electricity, That is, and was dramatic. So you have to be certain that not only the reliability, let's say the provision of electricity is good, but also the quality of that electricity is good. Not only say that it's available, but it's available in the right way. Similar with internet. Still, I believe that the internet speed here is quite low. The prices are not high, but the quality, it's low. Again, if you go outside of Colombo, the mobile internet is also slow. So those are the gaps that you have to think. If you want to have real-time controls, smart agriculture, having aerial, for example, photographs or drones, etc., working in your fields or in your companies, you have to improve your internet capacity. Those are the things that you need to think about and have some provisions to fill those gaps as a country. You can think about the government, but I didn't want to mention government specific, but as a country. For the agri-food sector, one of the things that I've witnessed, and unfortunately it is a challenge, is to have collaborative efforts. I want to mention something about cinnamon, but also integrated efforts. So it's not about, okay, we kind of communicate, we can't, no. We have to do things together. Very important. And that is when you can achieve really high return on investment. For cinnamon, the protection was achieved. It was a miracle, to be honest. It was very difficult. We achieved the recognition, the first in Sri Lanka. Very few countries have third-party recognition in the European Union for their products. You can think about, obviously champagne, that it's worldwide recognized, or Scotch whiskey, or Parmigiano Reggiano. But for example, international, let's say tequila, it's a name that is only can be used if it's coming from certain regions of Mexico. You can think about, very common example for me, it's Café de Colombia, Colombian coffee. I'm from Colombia, so that is something. Or Darjeeling tea. Darjeeling tea is maybe better known here. We would like to have also Ceylon tea protected. But this cannot happen by an individual, by a specific group of companies. It has to be overall collaborative, integrated effort. Unfortunately for cinnamon, there's one company that's undercutting other companies' prices. So instead of going up, now the prices have come down just because one company is not willing to collaborate. Think about that, please try to collaborate more and more. On the technology, the idea is, again, to be focused on people. You're not destroying jobs. You're destroying certain type of jobs, but overall, you're creating more jobs. But those jobs will require better trained workforce. So that the capacity and the training, it's important. It's important you get trained, and it's important you train your staff. On standards, which is again very complicated here, because at large you don't know exactly how the standards work, how you can use standards, but you can think about very simple standardized operational procedures, SOPs, that is basically the standard for your company. You have to have a product that is based on a specification, but you have to have processes. Those processes have to be well described, well written, so anyone can understand. And with that, you can have systems which can be further be automated. So that's something that you need to have, that more collaborative technology. And just not try to skip your stages, no? As I said, you cannot have a reliable economy if you don't have a good industry in place. Same with a company. You have to do the learning curve. If you're already a established business, a business person, you can think about innovative. And please surround for skilled people and train those people. Very important in this fourth industrial revolution, if you don't think about it, it's not the machines. It's actually the people who is then programming the machines, thinking about what are the decisions that need to be taken based on the data that this fourth industrial revolution technology are generating. Digitalization and automation requires well-defined standardized written procedures, I mentioned that. And my final remark, and if you just want to take that, I would be happy, and it's again, your company, or even as an individual, you will not gain any profit if you don't deliver value or benefit for others. It's not about extending your hand and saying, this is my product, buy it, give me money. You have to think, how can I improve the life of that person? How can I make that person having more value, receiving value from me, from my company? And that person can be your employee, can be your customer, but can also be your supplier. If you don't share, you don't give value, you don't provide value, you don't create benefit for others, you cannot grow. You can use these technologies, definitely, but you try to use it in that way. How can you provide, give benefit to others? That's my final remark. Thank you very much for being here. I know that is very interesting, but I really appreciate for all of you who are sitting here. And if there's any question point, I don't see our colleagues from IDB. But again, I would like to thank the chairman, the minister, and Citara for inviting Unido, especially me, being here. And if you have any further questions and further comments, feel free to reach to Unido office and me. It will be at your disposal for any inquiry, question, comment. Thank you very much. Who will take over?